Hi everybody, this is your Professor Ian. This is a video I'm recording to talk you through essay number 4. So essay number 4 is called You're the Prof, Cultural Artifact Research Paper. So let's take a look at the instructions and I'll talk through the rest of it. So let's go here. You're the Prof, Cultural Artifact Research Paper. So, we've done a number of things in this course. When I teach this course, what I do is 4 sections. We're in the 4th section of the course right now. The first section is largely the same. We start talking about code switching. The idea there is to think about the difference between the way you communicate in some spheres of your life and the way you communicate in school and more formal settings, right? To make that differentiation. And then the second and the third parts of the course, I change semester usually year by year. Both semesters are usually the same for a year, but I use a different central text and we focus on a different topic. So last year we read a memoir called The Best We Could Do. The Best We Can Do, Best We Could Do. And it was an illustrated memoir about a Vietnamese family that came to America in the 70s, fleeing from violence in Vietnam. And it was about the immigrant experience in America. So for the second part of the course, we read a bunch of essays and stuff about the immigrant experience and the refugee experience specifically in America, and then we read The Best We Could Do as our central text. This semester, we read Symptoms of Being Human, and so we focused on trans rights and LGBTQ community issues in the second part of the course, and then we read Symptoms of Being Human in the third part of the course as our kind of case study. And I do this, it's kind of almost a theme for the course, and it gives us something to focus on for a longer period of time. So for this 4th paper, you are going to pretend that you're the professor, you're the prof, and you're going to teach this course. So you're going to choose a work that you would like to focus on, and tether the whole course around. So you can choose anything you want: music video, song, TV series, movie, book, really anything you think is worthy of being studied and touches on a larger social issue. I mean, that's one of the most important things here is it touches on this larger social issue. But most things do in one way or another, right? So you can make this work. The key, there's 2 ways to approaching this topic. There's either think about a topic you want to talk about, say LGBTQ rights, or Black Lives Matters, or something like that, like some topical social issue. You can either think of the topic first and then find a text that allows you to talk about that topic, or you can choose a favorite text of your own, right? Say you're really into Harry Potter. You could use that and then find a social issue it's talking about. One second. Sorry about that. I was having my battery replaced in my car and I had to go out and talk to the guy. Anyways, as I was saying with this project, you can either start with a topic or you can start with a text. Either way is fine. So again, if you say you are really into Harry Potter, you can find a way that this touches on a larger social issue. Say, Harry Potter is a little apolitical, but you could talk about the way it inspires young people to read and how we need things like that. And, you can think about it as an educational tool. Just an example. Anyways, basically, you're going to tell us so what. You're going to justify why the work you chose is relevant. So if you choose something popular like Harry Potter, why is it something that should be studied? So I've got to break down the structure. You're going to present, the major themes you're interested in, a good thesis statement, background on your chosen cultural artifact, a survey of what people are saying about this is going to require research. You need to go out and read what people are saying about this text that you've chosen. What is the cultural reaction to this given text that you've chosen? And then you need to, after you summarize the article briefly and discuss a general reaction and conversations going on around the article, you need to make arguments about why you think it should be studied, right? And again, imagine you're the professor and you are going to use this in your class. You need to find, related readings that support this theme. So think about what I did with this course. In the second part of the course, we read a whole bunch of essays about things like intersectionality, about trans rights, about LGBTQ and code switching, right? That Do I Sound Gay movie. I use these to try to like support some of the themes that come out in the book to deepen our reading of that. So you're trying to do the same thing. What's this theme that's important about this work, and how do I explore that through research? Okay, and then finally a conclusion with a future-looking, kind of summation. Why should we be interested in your pop culture artifact in 2020 or 2021 in the future, right? So I've got specific research requirements. You need to use Chafee resources for this paper to make sure you're using reliable, good, library-based resources. There are some tips here. Remember, this is a formal paper, so avoiding first and second person pronouns, avoiding cliche and slang, MLA formatting. Okay, so that's the basic thrust of the paper. Let's go back to the different parts of the paper. So, where are we? Down here. So I have a whole module set to essay number 4. And you can see there are a lot of these parts you should be familiar with by now. A proposal, a letter to the reader. We're going to do another conference, peer editing, right? So these are all things that we've done before. The only thing that's new, that I'm going to talk about, is the Cultural Artifacts Study Guide. And this is basically in lieu, or it's a different version of something called an annotated bibliography, which you might have done before. An annotated bibliography is a list of the sources that you use to research something. So it's a bibliography, a list of books, and it's annotated. So you list, say you're doing a research paper on climate change, and you have 10 sources that you're using to support that. For an annotated bibliography, you'd have your MLA entry, all that bibliographical information, plus an annotation, a brief summary and explanation about how it's useful for your project. So a little blurb of writing, an annotation. So I used to use that as part of the final project, but then I moved to this slightly, well, I like to think it's much more engaging and fun version of an annotated bibliography. You'll use Wakelet to create a list of sources that you use in your paper and different ways to approach your topic. So you should be familiar with Wakelet after week 14, or is it 15? One of the weeks where we do the music video analysis project. Part of the reason we're doing that is to make you familiar with this program, Wakelet. So for your study guide using Wakelet, you'll find different related readings. So again, I chose Symptoms of Being Human as my main text. My related readings would be some of those articles about transgender youth and all the other articles and texts that I chose and presented in week 2. So I could have those in my study guide, and I would have a full MLA entry for each one, plus an annotation, a brief summary and explanation of why I use this item. I also want you to think about this study guide as in a more creative way. Again, imagine you're a professor and you're putting together class material. So I want you to come up with some other things to include. Here's what you need to include: a title page, at least one infographic, graph, something like this, just to practice those skills. Related readings. So again, these are those other texts, movies, whatever, that support an analysis of your main text. And in-class activities, plus a summary. So a brief summary of what your text is, right? I don't need to know all about Dumbledore and stuff if you're doing Harry Potter. Just a really brief summary of the book or series or whatnot. And then again, in-class activities. So in-class activities could include all kinds of things: discussion questions, quizzes, different games that you could play if you were doing this as a in-class text, if you were studying this with a group, right? So it's meant to be a kind of more creative way to think through your topic and present different ways of approaching it from this perspective of the professor. So with the study guide, you'll complete it using Wakelet, and then you'll post it to the discussion forum by Wednesday or by the deadline, right? Post it to the discussion forum, and then you need to check out 2 of your peer study guides and offer some criticism. Okay, so it's kind of like a peer editing thing, but with this Wakelet project. And the Wakelet project is meant to help you, again, organize your ideas for the final paper and think about different approaches that you could take with this final paper. Anyways, that's about it for now. If you have an idea for central text for a topic for your paper and you're unsure, please come and see me right away. We can talk about it, and I can give you some feedback and let you know, okay, that sounds like it'd be great, or have you considered this angle, or maybe there's not enough meat on that bone, you should think about a different text, something like that. Anyways, come and see me if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a great week and have fun with the project. Bye-bye.